Okay, well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's event. I'm Jason Gumpert from msdynamicsworld.com. Very pleased to have you with us for this session all about turning dynamics information into intelligence. We have a great lineup of speakers and presenters here today. As we get into today's session, please do know that we do also welcome your questions. Look for the questions block in the webcast interface. You can enter them at any time throughout the session. Our guests will be taking those after the event concludes, but we certainly do welcome them at any point. So without any further delay, I think we're ready to begin with introductions from our speakers, and I will leave that to all of them. I'm going to hand things off first to Natalie Trudell to start us off.
Thank you so much, Jason, and welcome to everybody to today's session on how to turn your dynamics information into intelligence with BI4Dynamics. As Jason mentioned, my name is Natalie. I am the marketing manager for Corporate Renaissance Group. We are a acquisitive company and a premier BI4Dynamics partner. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today as we touch on this very important topic of data analysis and how BI4Dynamics is really helping to transform how Dynamics users are extracting insights from their data. So I'd like to thank Jason and MS Dynamics World for having us present to you today. We really appreciate it, and we have a great session lined up for you. And with that, I am happy to introduce you to your two very esteemed hosts. Dr. Vijay Jog is the founder of CR Group and president of Global Business Applications for CR Group's parent company, Quisitive. Vijay is a leader in finance and has over 25 years of experience in the dynamic space. So that allows him to offer insights into the power of effective BI and the changing role of data in driving business success. Next, we have Mladen Vazenovic. He is the CEO of BI4Dynamics, and we are absolutely honored to have him here today to show you around. Mladen has over 15 years of experience in BI, and that allows him to offer practical solutions for reporting in data intelligence and delivering reporting that meets the needs of modern companies and leaders today. So thank you very much to Vijay and Mladen. I will now pass things over to Vijay to get the session started.
Thank you, Natalie. Glad to be here, and thank you for the great introduction. Just to set the stage for today's session, as Natalie mentioned, I have been, and as CR Group, we have been in this dynamic space for over 30 years, and the business intelligence space also for 30 years. So we are intimately familiar with what gaps and limits exist when we want to create business intelligence from Dynamics platform. Not only that, given we know Dynamics inside out, we also know that this is what the clients want. What they want is data to decisions. And that fits very well with our framework. When we talk about Office of the CFO, we always talk about, hey, you need ERP systems. In today's session, we're going to focus on Dynamics as an ERP system. You may have some unique solutions. You may do some CRM, SharePoint kind of collaboration and productivity. And all these systems we know create data. The challenge for senior management always has been, well, given all the data that exists in this system, especially in the Dynamics platform, how do I get to decisions? So what do I need to go from data to decisions? And that's the context for today's session. So if you think about Dynamics world, the Dynamics world has many things, whether it's BC, NAV, FNO, AX, and we have Power BI as a solution for reporting. The question is, how do we get data from these dynamic systems to Power BI? And that's where BI4Dynamics comes in play. So what do we see in this context? In this context, we see that the world has really changed. Data alone is not enough to move the needle. Companies need insights. More is being asked of business leaders on a strategic level. And they don't just rely on balance sheets and income statements. They rely on deep insights into their sub-ledgers, as we call it, or application areas. And they want to be proactive than reactive. They want to be self-served. They don't want IT folks or business analyst folks giving them information or reports on demand. If that's what the decision makers want, the question really has been, how can we make it happen? And as you all know, in the dynamic space, currently, this really is not possible. Typically, these days, we require business analysts or technical people to provide that. And of course, it becomes expensive. It's time consuming, it's rigid, it takes a lot of elapsed time because everybody's busy. We know, of course, from a reporting perspective or from analytics perspective, we have tools. Power BI and Excel are great tools. The question is, how do we easily feed data to these tools without having armies of business analysts or technical people helping that to happen? Well, we also know the following. We know that Microsoft Dynamics, whether it's BC or NAV or AX or FNO, has very complex structures, hundreds of tables. There are some customizations. And if people want to go from data to decisions, especially the leaders who want to be proactive, they don't want to be involved in never-ending BI projects, even though they know they have Power BI and Excel. The problem is, how do we feed those tools the data? And that's what excites me about BI4Dynamics for our clients. With BI4Dynamics, not only we have access to data, but we have access to hundreds of Power BI and Excel reports that are intelligent and time-bound. I won't want to steal thunder from Mladen's presentation. You will see when he starts showing you how easy it is to manage data from Dynamics into Power BI without worrying about technical complexities of how to get from data to decision-making. So why is so much excitement on my part or our part about BI4Dynamics? Every table that is required for complex and nice decision making is in the solution. This to us is the only solution that I call myself plug and play data intelligence and reporting. I come from the business world. I'm not a very technology oriented person. And I'm so happy to see that all the technical aspects of reporting is handled by BI4Dynamics. I don't have to worry about it as a decision maker. Number 4, the biggest advantage for this kind of a solution for our clients is any user can start reporting in no time because they bring with the solution the largest library of Power BI and Excel reports that are designed through intelligence in mind. And given we know Excel and given we know Power BI, we know that once the dimensions and measures are available to us, we can modify any reports that we need that is not out of the box, since all the dimensions and measures are readily available. And the last but not the least is setup is really fast. And for those of you who are skeptical, I always say to them, you know what? Do a trial on your data, no obligations. And if you like it, we'll proceed to the next step. The other thing that BI4Dynamics helps us is helping us in our FP&A practice. So if some of you have budgeting tools or planning tools, doesn't matter what tools you have, and you need data from Dynamics, BI4Dynamics Data Warehouse is a very nice place to start. Again, we don't have too much time to talk about this today, but just conceptually think about how BI4Dynamics can fit into the bigger picture. And not only that, if you have other non-Dynamics data, you can also put that into the BI4Dynamics Data Warehouse. So just before I hand it over to Mladen, we wanted a partner and a solution that has deep expertise in the dynamic space and the BI space, and a proven solution with out-of-the-box, unparalleled flexibility, and easy and ready to use. And I think we have found it. So what do you get? Without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Mladen, and he's going to show you what we mean by the biggest library of out-of-the-box, intelligent Power BI and Excel reports and dashboards developed by business leaders for business leaders, desktop and mobile available, all application areas, and lightning fast speed. Over to Mladen. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. So my role in company is being solution architect, and I have also the Dynamics background. And getting data from on-premises sources is simple because Microsoft allows direct access to any table the ERP solution has, and we create a data warehouse with analysis services And this is where we connect Excel and Power BI reports that come out of the box. All these settings is available to be implemented within a few days, actually a few hours. Life in cloud is a little more complicated. Life is nice. However, Microsoft is not giving us the access to either BC or FNO. So in BC terms, we have to export data to the blob storage. This is done by Microsoft for FNO. And this is where we grab data. It can be from Dynamics or any other external data and create a data warehouse. So the data size, granularity, specialized requirements, this is not an issue for SQL because BI4Dynamics is a solution on the top of SQL Server. And the whole process can take just few hours, or within a day or two, you are up and running with your data warehouse solution that we have been developed over 10 years. Now, with the new release that's coming in May, we offer even more. We actually can join the data from your old legacy BC or NAV data with the current live, this can be also live, Business Central data in one data source, integrated, no manual work, like a connector, plug and play. And further, we have implementation option not only on source, but also in what we call destination, which means that solution can be implemented on Azure SQL machine, or if there is a spare hardware because you migrated your on-premises solution to cloud on on-premises hardware, and still you can deploy analysis services on-premises, you keep it where your data warehouse is, or if you are international business, you want to support nice and fast access for around the globe into tabular modeling analysis services. So these are really, really excellent choices for implementation, which gives you a lot of way to optimize either your cost, performance, comfort, anything you want. Now you get True Data Warehouse, which is reserved for enterprise at the cost of SMB. The features are data warehouse which can crunch 5 terabytes in 5 hours. It offers you document level granularity. It works, of course, incremental with the adding data. And with all the setup, we are really carefully setting up Azure resources for optimizing your cost. We have all kind of experience and help you with that. And users are really very happy. There is no latency. The memory, the data that users are browsing are in memory. In analysis services, Tabular keeps the data in memory. So there is always sub 1 or 2 second query response, and you don't have to wait for any other refresh time as you would usually do if you are using directly implementation the Power BI. So in the content-wise, we support all application area. There are every 20 financial or global dimension. We have reach out of the box time intelligence support, and also with the new model, you can set up permission for a BC user inside of your BC. So this is really something that helps you manage the solution. But let's have a look how it works. What's the user experience with BI4Dynamics? Now we are going to look into the Power BI. So this can be your dashboard if you are a Dynamics customer. Within a few days after you take decision, you want to try it. So what do we have here? So this is a sales overview that includes also some inventory and receivable information, where usually would be applicable to filter this by company or global dimension, some attribute that is available in all application area. And some KPIs that you can see are very standard. Some are less used, like days delivery or amount delivery late. But these are only few out of 1,500 KPIs that are available in the list of fields in this is what actually BI4Dynamics provides. This is the very long list of transactional table, over 70 transactional table and 150 dimensional table, where you can, when creating the reports, all as a user you have to do is drag and drop this information and bring it into the area, into the canvas area, or from pivot table into the Excel report here. It's very simple to do this. Now, when we are focusing more into the sales area, which is mostly used area in analytics in general, then we are having usually a master table, which of course can be used for filtering data immediately. And the KPIs that we have chosen are something that you start with. If you say, okay, but you see, I'm a more item oriented, we are more product oriented company, or if you are the retailer, you want to analyze data by location, this is Power BI. How hard can be using the Power BI? Actually, what you have to learn is what possibilities and options you have when you are doing this analysis in BI4Dynamics. And the data that are structured here will tell you in no time what is good and what is bad. We rely a lot on color. So what's your best customer? Is the one with biggest net sales, growth in relative or absolute terms, profit. You have to carefully take care about your customers. So you would not like to see top customer not buying from you for 90 days. And also customers will not be happy if you're on average 3 days late on delivery, or let me just see the color, 60% of your shipment is on average 1.6 days late. That's not good. So at least this KPI will show you what is happening. And of course, you will have to take the business decision on your own. BI will not take it for you. Now, same as sales information, we provide in here also receivable information. And if you look into the data by date, you can see the trends. So easy it is to spot what is not so good or what is good just by colors. And you learn this in no time. We use Microsoft Power BI visuals. I wouldn't say that we use the latest and change it all the time. Actually, we change or update reports every 6 months, and we implement those which we believe our customers can benefit, which are simple and informative. There are a lot of new visuals every month, but we just want to keep this analytics really, really simple. Looking into the inventory, so we provide information same like with the customers with the sales information. Then we bring in inventory and also combining with the purchase. So for example, what are the options among, bringing some of the options from this very large list of KPIs. So for example, you have an inventory or stock value and also an aging bucket for value of items that have not been moving more than a year, just to have it if you have a problem with your aging, inventory aging. This is something we'll look later. This is just one KPI waiting for you to be used and to take a decision on. And again, it is understood that at any point you want to filter the data. This is Power BI. This cross-filtering and filtering in the filter area works really, really, really nice. So this is something that doesn't have to be explained again. Also, analysis by date, where, for example, what you can see here are KPIs. We have, I believe, 12 or 14 out of stock information. So you cannot sell if your items are out of stock, and it will tell you also how many items are out of stock, percentage-wise, and true false if items are out of stock for a day, a week, 2 weeks, or 30 days. So just a few of these KPIs that we have available and are just ready to use. Now, there are some very interesting aspects that our customers really like. So for example, if you want to analyze the new sales at any point, all what I'm showing is applicable also for the purchasing part. So there is nothing that purchasing doesn't have in terms of functionality that you're seeing. And for example, in this new sales or new customer sales, we can see that in Q2 2017, we have 14 new customers generating 10% of revenue and 36 new items generating 5.5%. Or if you want to see what are new customers from Sweden, for example, or we have 27 new items and list of all items they are buying, or one new customer. Another aspect of the sales, moving on, is to check what are customers buying. Are they still our frequent customers? Are they changing assortment? So again, you see, this is a top customer list in last year, and we can see here, hey, this customer didn't buy anything from us, 19 days already. Is it a problem? Or actually, we would say not really, because customer was buying here and there already in the past, because it says how many days, not only per day, but also going back in time at the end of the period, they have not been buying. So it's not a very frequent customer, but still a good customer. And we can also see what the customer is buying. Or if you look into from item perspective, for example, these are top items, and hey, what's going on with, for example, this item? No one bought it for 13 days. Actually, we are out of stock. And actually, there were some stock left on location 1 and 3. And probably, this customer bought this, but actually, you see, previously it was never out of stock at all. So now we have a problem, because either there is a item which we can offer as a replacement, or customers are not buying because this is outdated or too expensive item. So this kind of information will show you really nice input. Even if you have a lot of items, and if numbers are okay, you can still not see into the structure of your sales so well, like we have shown you with the last two reports. There is a lot about the geo information available at any time. So Microsoft is supporting this kind of information really well. And it's so easy and so informative to use this information. You can use the sizes and the colors with any combination you want to do, with profit, with growth, with anything that comes to your mind. So you start with these reports, and then you design the reports as you want. All the users are connected to the same source. There is just one version of truth for everyone, but report layout can vary because some has preference to analyze it this or that way. So this was a short introduction about the sales. And in sales, what actually we are doing all kind of comparison. And this is where BI4Dynamics really offers a very strong support. And I'm going to show you what this means. So we have seen year-to-day variance, year-on-year, and so on. So when we have one basic measure, transactional measure, like net sales, for example, like we can generate in BI4Dynamics with one click a bucket of 5 year-to-date variances, time intelligent variance of the base measure, 4 year-on-year, 4 period-on-period, 12 measures going 1 month back each, and 4 to 4 weeks, 6 rolling, and month-to-date, and more. All in all, 50 variances. So there will be no analyst or controller saying the measure that type is missing. So we really give you all the options, and it can be anything. Can be profit, can be wastage, can be net change customer, actual cost or estimated cost in manufacturing. Everything can be a base measure extended as you want to have it and use it. Now we are moving from mostly used sales area into still we are in operation. So I'll just briefly show the inventory, and within the inventory, what is really interesting, and our customers really like this feature, is inventory aging. So we are not going to talk about turnover in days, maximum balances. This is okay. This is there already for some time. What we're looking into this scenario, for example, where inventory is going down. So from 5 millions to 2 millions in the last 2.5 years. So, we should be happy, right? Because this is going down. And also turnover in days is going down from 500 to 120 days. So this is confirming that we are more efficiently managing our inventory. However, if we look into this picture here, into the profile of our inventory, then we see that we are actually successfully decreasing the value of items which are not moving or are moving under 100 days, which is fast moving items, and those items which are around for 100 days or a year, but not really successfully inventory, which is not moving at all. And actually this table confirms that anytime where we took a snapshot information from BI4Dynamics to BI4Dynamics, we keep the quantities and values for each item with all the information that we want to capture. And here we can see these are the buckets items not moving. And here we can see that there is a lot of not moving items longer and longer and longer. So this is alert that we should do something. We provide even more. If we go to one specific item scenario, what we can have is to see the item value and how this is distributed across aging buckets. So we see that more than a year value is 6,600. There are 74 pieces, and actually the aging stock is 90, while these items here are 74. Then we are comparing the last purchase price or average purchase price in the period, and we can see that this price in inventory is 14% and the other is 40% higher than the current purchase price, which actually means we are going to sell with less profit or with loss. So there are also information about the sales, average selling price, when did you buy, what was the cost and quantity, and on. So this is preparing us, or let's better say, this information should prepare us to take actions, not to take us by chance with a lot of inventory not moving and then, writing it off. This is one interesting aspect of looking into the inventory. And another one from purchasing. So what we are looking into the purchasing area, it's not the cost, landing price, charges, and so on, but we are looking into the delivery performance of your vendors. So what's this about? So when you open a purchase order, in your purchase order line, whether you're using BC or F&O, same. You can enter one of these 4 dates: expected delivery date, promised delivery date, planned delivery date, and one more. And then you wait till items or services arrive to your warehouse. At that point, you post a receipt, and the posting date in the receipt will be acting like actual delivery date, and you are going to, actually software is going to compare to the planned or promised or expected delivery date. And if there is a difference, a positive, then we will track and record days late. If items are on time or arrive ahead, you don't get a bonus, or vendor doesn't get a bonus for this. These are items here. And here we can see that some items arrive 6 days late and some are on time. Now the total value that BI4Dynamics will calculate for you will be a weighted average of these days late, taking into consideration the values of the items delivered to you. And then we extend the functionality with amount late and amount late percentage, lines late, or lines late percentage, or quantity late, depending what your preference is. So kind of dashboard you can get for one particular vendor in a period that we selected, or you can look into the dashboards that are provided for all the company. And this is, for example, a dashboard where we can say, hey, how are the vendors in Sweden doing? So we are looking into who are these vendors, what are they delivering in terms of delivery performance. We can see the trends in here and in here. So it's quite easy to understand what is the delivery performance of either a vendor, or we can look at from a different perspective and see this from an item perspective. If we have multiple vendors, then we can see which one is good one and which one is not good one. Now, why do we need 2 information? Would not be just fine amount late, or let's say, how often are you late? Like, 40% of your delivery is late. Well, it makes difference if 40% of delivery is late, if delivery is 1 day late or 5 days late on average, weighted, as we learned. Because this may impact on your operations. Maybe you can absorb this late delivery, but you have to keep your warehouse high, or it causes you a problem that you are facing out of stock situation where you cannot sell. So again, like many times, BI will provide you with information and you will be taking an action based on this information here. But this is really easy to use, and actually absolutely the same information is available also. I'm just going to show you real quick in sales, where we are tracking how happy are our customer with our delivery, where we are tracking our records to our customers. So this is something where also you can get an insight that you may not be happy with. Now, this was operational area. I just want to show a real quick insight into the finance, so that I'll just give you an idea what we can do with the finance. And this is the area where flexibility is really required, and the base for this functionality or this flexibility is in your if you're using the BC or NAV account schedules, if you're AX user financial statement, which means you are going to create financial statement in your Dynamics. You are going to structure the formulas, you're going to structure the row definition, and both ERPs or all ERPs have handicap getting this data out. This is what BI4Dynamics will do for you. Regardless on the data size, we will give you the information with the rich content out of the box, where you can see the first part is, this is very colorful. Without the colors, this would look like this. And with the color, with the Excel formatting, you can see where you had a low revenue that was impacting your bottom line, or where you are doing really good, and this was also impacting in a positive way your bottom line here. And it is not just you would be statically using this information here. You can change the layout of the report just the way you want to do. So you can just change this, for example, the month information, which is valid for 2018, with any financial dimension, and there is a list of this financial dimension is 20. So if I just bring the information about financial dimension, for example, let's say business unit, okay, you can see, you can just nest it, or you want to see this information by any other. Let me just see this information here. Let's say area, or anything that you are using in your Dynamics, you are just dragging and dropping into the picture. Or here again, if you want to do the comparison that I was previously explaining, I can see this is 2018. How was it, for example, last year? Can I compare it to the current year to date? So I'm just clicking year to date variance and variance percentage, just like this, extending the layout of the report to show the information like here. And it's really not difficult. Okay, in this case, the data are as they are, to understand what I know why the data are as they are, because we didn't select the closing period information, which is required when we are doing the financial reporting. That is a must-have. Okay, now we have seen, we put this into the filter. Now the area is showing us the real comparison, this year, last year, variance and changes. Not only that, with BI we can nest what are the GL account used in the structure of our formula, GL account or main account. With this possibility, it's just killing. And if I just want to do a next step, what I would do, we will not wait to all the details. I can just bring in the document number. Now, because there are a lot of transactions, it may some time, but if I just stop this here and give you the insight. So I have definition of row GL accounts and a document for a particular period. So this top-bottom approach, going from financial report like this into the details, this is what BI is made for. And if you look all these reports here, I just go to our web page and under Power BI reports, and this is where you can experience all these reports also after the session. This is always available for your experience here. So this was the part that I wanted to show about the functionality. I think, I hope that you see the power of BI4Dynamics, and what, again, the power of this is also you get this immediately. We don't ask you, what do you want, dear customer? We have done already 1,000 projects, but we say, this is something we believe is the best practice that we gathered over 10 years. This is, we believe you will like it. Let's just try it, taste it. We'll help you, guide you through this 30-day period, and you just decide on your own with lowering the risk tremendously. This was from my part. Over back to you, Vijay.
Thank you, Mladen. Thank you for a great presentation. Just to circle back from what I started with, now you have seen in real time best BI content and total flexibility. Hundreds of fields out of the box. You don't have to worry about what tables are in FNO or BC. Everything is designed for a business user. And the modeling requires no technology skills. If you know Power BI, if you know Excel, you're off to the races. Next, one always thinks about demos, and our clients say to me, Vijay, this is just a demo. My point is that, you know what? No, this is not just a demo. We are giving you a risk-free, using your data, a POC that will allow you to see your data through BI4Dynamics in Power BI and Excel. It's risk-free. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. If you like it, you can, of course, use it. So after your trial, all we have to do then is to make sure that you are comfortable with it with 1 or 2 very small training sessions, and then literally install and implement BI4Dynamics in your world. And as Mladen mentioned to you, depending upon your choice of on-premise or cloud or a hybrid option, we'll work with you to reduce your cost or optimize your cost. And then you have the solution, and we are here as much as you need to support you after the implementation. Okay. Pricing really depends upon what system you are using, NAV, BC, AX, FNO, how many users you have on each of those systems, how many companies you have, what application you are interested in. So if you are curious about either a POC, which is risk-free, or even before starting a POC, what pricing you think will be for your environment, all you have to do is to send an email to sales@bi4dynamics.com. We'll send you a short questionnaire for us to know your environment and what your needs are, and then we can provide you pricing even before we start the POC. That's all on my side. Thank you very much. Again, if you have questions, put it on the chat side. Over to you.
Okay, Vijay, Mladen, thank you both so much for that information and for the session today. As Vijay mentioned, we will be taking questions and answering them after the session concludes, so please do continue to enter those. With that, we are ready to conclude today's event. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.